you see the boys, and the boys are not really all that developed. I mean, you see them and you're like, oh my God, like he's going into high school and he's going to be eaten by other dudes that are bigger. And then you see them at 17, 18 when they're graduating high school. That senior is not the same as this freshman.
Right.
They're not the same. They're not even like the same species.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a big difference waiting those 3, 4 years. There's a big difference in brain development, and there's a big difference in body development. And so you've had all of those years to really learn different skills, to really learn consent and what that means, to really exercise your judgment. Their frontal lobes are still not going to be fully developed. And that's the system that has to do with reward and risk.
Mm-hmm.
So still not. And in boys, that happens later. You know, they say 25. Well, in males, it can happen after 25. That kind of when that process kind of finishes and this here is solidified. So one of the things that I always tell my kid, even at 22 years old, I say, well, you have to be careful because your frontal lobe is still not fully developed.
Right.
And he's been hearing this forever, but he knows what that means. I
It's
have
true.
explained it, and he actually says, "I know, Mom. Yeah, that is true." Because I've told him, and I said, "Well, look at yourself and examine your life. How you thought when you were 14, and now when you're 21, 22 years old, it's not the same."
Yeah, it's like the depth, the understanding, the context that you have for certain situations. It's totally different. And until that's fully formed, you can't weigh the outcome of the decisions that you're making.
Exactly, exactly. And you are highly, highly motivated by dopamine.
And
Which is
hormones.
exactly, it's just a pleasure neurotransmitter.
Mhm.
And so, which is something else that media and the technology specifically does,
Mhm.
is that it just creates that instantaneous hit of dopamine, and think of it as a very powerful pleasure drug that then you become desensitized to and you need more
Mm.
and more frequent. So you create a tolerance to it and you need more and more frequent. And that's why you see kids now kind of glued to the technology. You see adults too. But kids are highly susceptible to technology and what it does to the brain, especially when you then give them access to porn. It can be very detrimental. Now, people say now, well, in the state of Texas, they can't really access porn because of the law that was passed last year or the year before. And now you have to be 18 or over to be able to access. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of different ways to circumvent that.
The internet's a very big place.
Exactly. And so if parents are becoming complacent and think, oh, yeah, great, the great state of Texas and other states, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But if you're thinking, I don't have to do anything else, they can be on their phones safely because Texas passed this law and now my kid won't have access to anything, you are gravely mistaken.
Hmm. So
Yes.
parents need to take ownership over this.
They need to take ownership over this, and they need to not see the sex conversation as the enemy when they're giving their kids a device that
Mm.
gives them access and eyes into everything